He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
It's probably prudent and important enough for me to open the program by giving a nod, tip of the cap, and a nod to our local area television meteorologists. They told us, they warned us that we were going to get a bucket ton, if such a phrase can be invented, of rain over the last couple of days. And by golly, they were spot on. Listen, we get on the weather people enough. And I'm right there with them and saying, oh yeah, there's another weather-mageddon red herring coming down with nothing happening. But they said there was going to be a lot of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. And in the immortal words of Ernest T. Bass on the Andy Griffith Show, yeah, I was out there in it, you know. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program. Hope you're staying dry here on this Tuesday afternoon as we bring you the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and where you can always listen to us for free on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Craig Way. Glad to have you with us, and we're with you up until 5 o'clock this afternoon. The producer is Jake Herman. He's wearing a rain jacket today. I had a little cover-up here that I'd had for broadcast and games. I've had to get outside in it.
Yeah, you're in the coordinator outfit here.
Is that what that is?
I've seen coordinators wear it.
Similar. This is actually what I'm wearing today, and for folks who aren't viewing it there, on the stream, it's a pullover that's kind of rain repellent. That's in burnt orange, and it's got a Nike logo on it. But this actual pullover is a prototype.
Right, because it doesn't have sleeves.
Well, right, it's short sleeve. But there are other ones that are rain repellent that are UT issued gear. This particular thing, while being burnt orange and it was created by a company as a prototype, and they sent it to UT licensing and all this kind of stuff. And I think in the end, they ended up not doing the deal, and it didn't happen. But they sent me one and said, here, have this if you want. And I'm like, no, I'm not proud. If it's raining, I'll put it on. So I do have a couple of jackets that are officially licensed UT gear that are rain repellent as well. This just happened to fit over a T-shirt, so I popped it on today.
Other benefits as assigned,
or whatever, or being guinea pig as assigned, that sort of thing. So anyway, I don't know how it was. You live pretty close here to the iHeart compound, which is hard by Lake Austin and the Colorado River and the Pennybacker Bridge here on the west side of town. You live, within a couple of miles of the building? Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty close by. And we got probably the worst of our rain this morning.
Okay.
If it did rain hard last night, if it was after midnight, I slept right through it.
Okay, very good. We got a pretty good shower last night. I always measure this by the fact when the dog really doesn't want to go out in it. But this morning is when it really opened up quite a bit. Fortunately, we got her outside, and she went and did her thing before the heavy stuff came down. So that worked out all right. But it's been raining really hard up in Williamson County, and then some here in Austin when I came in as well. Roger Wallace, of course, my broadcast partner on Longhorn football, and who helps us out also on baseball and men's and women's basketball, and of course, as his day job, sports director at KXAN. He and I met, had a late morning meeting this morning to go over some plans for the fall and things of that nature. And you will be familiar with this. I think you will be, being both an East Coaster and somebody who worked in the upper Midwest. You're familiar with the coffee and pastry chain Tim Hortons?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got family in Toronto.
Okay, yeah. Well, so there you go. There's only one here in the greater Austin area. It's over by Round Rock. It's over on 620. But I've always kind of liked their coffee, at least the Keurig pods and stuff like that. So I knew there was way, and it's not far from his house. So we met over there, just basically over coffee and to talk about some things. But anyway, when I got over there, it was still coming down pretty good. Now it had slackened a bit. That's a word that I'd like to use from time to time because it only has that one meaning, slackened. The rain had just kind of let off a little bit. I remember saying that one time when I was co-hosting with Bill Schoening. He was, what? What did you say? I said, slackened. The rain just, what do you mean? Let up. It's slacked off a little bit. But it was raining pretty significantly there. Now here by the iHeart compound, it's just drippy. So anyway, I hope you're being safe and careful and staying dry here. On the program this afternoon, first of all, we're going to keep you updated with the other World Cup semifinal, which has just kicked off a few minutes ago, England and Argentina. Argentina, of course, the defending champion. And they are just underway and scoreless. They're 6 minutes, about to be 7 minutes into the action there as they play in Atlanta. The winner of that is going to get Spain, who surprised the number one team in the world. They beat France yesterday 2-0. So France will play the loser of this match in the third place game on Saturday. We went on in length yesterday about third place games.
Yeah, that clip is up on our Instagram at AM1300 The Zone and on our X if you missed that story.
Okay. And I'm not as I'm not as down on the third place game as a lot of people are.
Not as down as Vince Lombardi was.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand why a lot of people think that it's a completely useless thing. I get that. The World Cup, it's a little bit different because there are financial incentives for those who are playing. I would also say this too. Didn't you check to see that third place match is in Miami, I believe?
Yep.
Okay. For those who are unable to procure a ticket and or work the travel to get to the metropolitan New York area to watch the World Cup final on Sunday, which will feature Spain and the winner of this match, England and Argentina. Maybe couldn't afford a ticket or couldn't get a ticket or didn't want to pay for the travel to go to New York or whatever. Those, it gives them a chance to see one more World Cup match, albeit for third place. So there is that. So I think there's some use in it for soccer fans anyway.
Well, when you wait 4 years between tournaments,
that's the other thing. So why not? And let me also say this, and this is going to get us into our other topic. We are coming off watching a grand spectacle of baseball last night, the baseball All-Star game. Now, the game itself turned out to be not that much of a spectacle unless you're a really, really big fan of pitching and the American League. And we'll break that down and we'll talk about all that. But even so, as we get into talking about that, that's an exhibition. It doesn't count. Doesn't matter. Doesn't count in the standings. The third place match for the World Cup, doesn't count in terms of, whether you win or not. It does, however, go into your world ranking. So it's just like if you're also watching a major championship in golf. And the final of the four majors tees off tomorrow at Royal Birkdale in England. The Open Championship is the official title, but more commonly known to Americans as the British Open. But anyway, the Open Championship begins tomorrow. And in the 3:00 hour, our resident golf honk, Cameron Parker, will join us. We'll get his thoughts on the golf course, the championship, and who he thinks he's going to be. Cameron, by the way, is going to go to the Open next year. And that's
good for him.
Yeah, and it's my plan as well. Linda and I, we've got some things we have to work through in checking dating and things like that. But we kind of have a tentative plan where we want to go over first to Liverpool and see a lot of the Beatles sites and do some of that touring stuff and then go to St. Andrews to see the Open, because that's what holds the greatest interest in me, for me, in seeing, one day of the Open Championship, is the fact that it's at St. Andrews, pretty much regarded as the birthplace of golf. Scotland is overall, but that course, which began as a 12-hole course in the late 1700s, I believe, is probably as good a place as any to plant the flag and say the golf started here. Just like, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, Ohio. Now, it didn't really start in Canton, Ohio, pro football, but a lot of what happened to help shape what happened with pro football in its early days in the 1920s took place in the Canton area. So it was a logical place for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, don't get me started on the Baseball Hall of Fame, because we know about the fairy tale of what Cooperstown is all about. Let me just say this. Cooperstown is as good a place as any to have the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. It is. Beautiful, sublime place, near Glimmerglass Lake and all that kind of stuff in upstate New York. And there was a lot of very, very early 19th century baseball played in that area. That said, all that business about the Doubleday ball that was found in an attic and that he invented it in Cooperstown in 1839, that's all one gigantic urban myth. The dates don't align with one another. Doubleday at the time was, I believe, at West Point. So he couldn't have been, even though it's not that far from West Point to Cooperstown, but it's a good couple of days ride back in the 19th century. So, and then, he was later an officer in the Civil War for the Union, and he never, in any of his writings or anything, ever claimed anything about having anything to do with baseball. But he was kind of anointed with that crown, having invented it. And it's a big tall tale of baseball. Belongs up there with Paul Bunyan and all the other stuff, It doesn't.
I know they claim Doubleday at Army. I've got a friend that's on the sports information.
Oh, he
staff
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an officer in the United States Army,
and he
on
was their stadium.
Yeah. He was at West Point. That is all factual. The fact that he was in Cooperstown in 1839 is not factual, or has never been proven to be true. And he never mentioned anything at all about having anything to do with the invention and popularization of baseball.
I didn't know all this. They didn't cover this in the Ken Burns doc.
They kind of hinted right. What Ken Burns did best with his crew with that baseball documentary series is to give proper accreditation, I think, to Alexander Joy Cartwright. He really kind of is the father of modern baseball, because he's the one who codified the rules. He's the one who decided a diamond shape. He's the one that decided 90 feet between the bases. One thing that's always fascinated me, what the distance is from the mound to home plate.
60 feet, 6 inches.
Very good. Why 60 feet, 6? How they arrived at that, and how it seems to be the perfect distance. If it was just like 1 foot closer, batting averages would probably be 100 points lower.
No, you'd have the All-Star game going on since the 1920s.
Yeah. If it was 1 foot back, you might have batting averages 100 points higher.
You'd have batting practice.
Yeah.
Home run derby since the 1920s.
Yeah. So that worked out. But anyway, he is really, I think, genuinely credited with being kind of the modern father of baseball. There were other contributors, to be certain, but I think Alexander Cartwright was probably the one with the game they had that they played on the Elysian Fields there in Hoboken, New Jersey, and all that kind of stuff. That's a more accurate depiction of how baseball really got going. It was, as we know, baseball was a mutt. It was a mutt. It was an amalgamation of a British game called Rounders and some other games. It just kind of morphed into what it became.
And as Burns has been fascinated with his whole career, he was very adamant to show us why it was so then uniquely American.
Yes. just like basketball is uniquely American. Now, football, of course, dates back centuries. They said in the 14th century, there were people that were playing kind of a brand of soccer, rugby, football played in the streets of London using a human head as a ball.
Ugh.
Yeah, that happened back in the Middle Ages. So, and it just kind of morphed through and football kind of became, what morphed out of rugby and soccer and that sort of thing. Basketball, we know, was completely uniquely invented by one man. And while the rules modified over time, Dr. James Naismith's original rules in 1891 at Springfield College as an activity to do inside of gymnasiums other than calisthenics when they couldn't go out during the winter months in Massachusetts. It always makes me wonder if Dr. James Naismith had been working at the University of Georgia or Florida, would he have invented basketball? Would it have been the necessity, being the mother of invention, moving it inside because of the harsh winter weather in Massachusetts? Would that have been the motivation behind down south where the weather was warmer? Who knows?
I like to think somebody invents a team sport to do other than calisthenics inside a gym, but it could be completely different.
Yeah, it could have been something different. They could have been swinging brooms at basketballs for all we know. But anyway, he's the one that came up with the peach baskets and shooting, and there was 5 in a side, and you had to pass the ball, and you couldn't travel with it and all that stuff, and you couldn't foul. And, that was kind of how it originally was laid out, and then it kind of evolved into the game we know it to be today. To be certain, Dr. Naismith, it's often said by many, would not recognize the game today.
He doesn't like.
If he was at the NBA Summer League, do you think he would recognize what he was looking at there?
He doesn't like the clear path foul?
He probably would. Now, he might be for that, but he
coaches challenges.
I'll tell you what he would be dead set against: the Euro step.
Oh, yeah.
He would say that's traveling in a heartbeat. He would say there's no Euro step there. That doesn't exist.
Now, why would a player flop?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, those are just some random thoughts on things. But we'll keep you updated on the World Cup match. England and Argentina in the 17th minute right now, and they are scoreless in that World Cup semifinal. But we will keep you updated on all of that. Okay. Coming up, a recap of the Baseball All-Star Game. Also, as always, we're more than happy to have you weigh in with your thoughts, your questions, your comments, your opinions. You can do that a couple of ways. One, you can text us. And to do that, you simply text the word Texas, followed by your question or comment to 81530. So text the word Texas, followed by your question or comment to 81530. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. That's one way. And we'll get to your texts as the situation warrants. There's another way to reach us too, and that's with your voice through our TalkBack microphone or TalkBack system through the iHeartRadio app. It's very easy. All you have to do, if you haven't already done it, and many people have already downloaded the free iHeartRadio app because they listen to this program streaming on the iHeartRadio app. Good for you. If you haven't, one way you can reach us, and when we do contesting, we do it through this way as well. So all you do is you download on your iPhone or Android, your smartphone, you download the iHeartRadio app. It's real easy to do. You just look it up, boom, it'll come down, and it's free. And then once you have it downloaded, then you do a search in your search window or magnifying glass or search bar, whatever, for AM 1300 The Zone. So you just search AM 1300 The Zone. It'll pop right up. And when it does, you're going to see 2 buttons. One's a little white one. It's triangular shape. You push that if you want to listen to what's going on in the air. The other button is a red button that has a little white microphone in it. That is the TalkBack microphone. That's our TalkBack feature. And what you would do is just push that button, and then you got 30 seconds to lay one on us. Let us know what you're thinking. Or if you have a question, that's okay too. So that's the TalkBack feature. You can do that through the iHeartRadio app. All right, we'll talk some Major League Baseball. Yes, we have Inconceivable this afternoon. It was all I could do to hold off on one story to save it for Friday because it happens in the Sunshine State. So we got to hold on to that until we get to Florida man, and in this case, Florida woman story on Friday for Inconceivable. When we do that, when we go to the lowest of the lower 48 states, yes, the most flaccid, to grab that low-hanging fruit. But we're not doing that today. Today is a Yacht Rock Wednesday. So we'll have that coming up. And we'll have Inconceivable coming up this hour. Again, Cameron Parker with a British Open or Open Championship preview coming up next hour. And we take your thoughts as well. Here on a drippy, rainy Wednesday on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Get ready for kickoff with the 2026 SEC Football Media Days. Touchdown, Texas! 1300 The Zone will be live from Tampa, Florida. Hear exclusive interviews with Steve Sarkisian.
But I really like this team. I think we've got a very talented roster. Now we got to put it all together.
Arch Manning.
Our team's been good. We got a close team, young, we're really motivated, so we're fired up for the year.
And more. Get you ready for kickoff on your home for the Hordes.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com.
Cheer up, music fans. Hyundai is back again as the proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Join us as our electrifying all-star lineup hits the stage like never before.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade football.
You mean soccer?
Right, soccer. Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade soccer. Know the game better than the market? You can earn cash trading on tournament and game outcomes, goals, assists, saves, corners, and much, much more.
Download the Polymarket app and use code BALL to unlock $50 free for your first trade. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
If you run a business and need to get your message to your next customers fast, nothing is faster than audio with iHeart. Let us help you reach the audience you need to grow your business at the speed of sound at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hi guys, I'm Ken. And I'm Bella, and we are Rowdy Cowgirls from Central Texas' #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. And we love Tuesdays because of bikinis and boots. That's right guys, every Tuesday we will be in our sexiest bikinis and our cutest boots. Come see us and enjoy ice cold beer, craft cocktails, a Texas-style menu, and 69 TVs. And every Tuesday, all Texas beers and spirits are $2 off. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy in Round Rock. Let's get rowdy off of I-35 in Round Rock. Visit us at Go Rowdy Cowboy.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? It's the good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for arthritis pain relief. What feeling is that? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from arthritis pain. It's that my hands don't hurt just holding things feeling. That, wow, I can actually move well feeling. You know, that go about your day without worrying about every little movement or ache feeling. Oh, yeah. Because Aleve targets arthritis pain at the source of inflammation for long-lasting relief. So you can keep moving through it. Feel up to 12 hours of arthritis pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use is directed for minor arthritis pain.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. Bonus. Enter it now.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from a library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Just so I'm clear, do you feel pretty confident that you're going to be alive on Sunday?
I'm a third-generation reporter, and for years, I've been chasing Omar Hamami, a former Southern Baptist from Alabama, who by rapping and online videos became the face of jihad in Africa and one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. Eventually, despite rumors he'd been killed, I found Omar. Or more like, he found me. For more than a year, we corresponded in secret while he was hiding from U.S. forces, and eventually, on the run from the very insurgent group he put on the map. Slowly, I got close to Omar. Closer than I ever thought I would. Perhaps closer than I should. Was it good journalism? An ethical lapse? Was it my faith in humanity that kept me talking to Omar? Or something darker? My name is Christoph Butzel. This is American Jihadi.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Boys.
Well, we've often said if there was a Mount Rushmore for yacht rock, individually, the Godfather obviously would be Michael McDonald. You could put Kenny Loggins up there. You could put Christopher Cross up there. You could put Gordon Lightfoot up there. You could do that. If it was bands, these guys were the leadoff. Toto. Yeah. More so than most of them, because they were kind of there on the ground floor of it really starting, because a lot of their musicians played on a lot of other bands and with a lot of other bands, including Steely Dan, including playing with the Doobies or with Michael McDonald. Toto. So, yeah. And in their own world. Like, in that, if you've ever seen that Yacht Rock documentary, when they explain how utterly stupefied, dumbfounded, flummoxed they were at the popularity of Africa, the song, they thought it was a throwaway song. Who knew that some 45 years later, Longhorn students in the stands during a television timeout in the third quarter of a Saturday night college football game would be singing Africa, right? Who knew, right? But they do. And not only them, all over the country.
They're like, have we ever been to Africa? No.
No. So anyway, there was that. All right. I want to do a little recap of the All-Star game. And it's the one All-Star game that I will watch because, as I said yesterday, it's the one All-Star game that most closely approximates what a regular season game would resemble. And even that, there are some vast differences, especially as the game has evolved over time. It's come now down to two things. Almost no pitcher pitches more than one inning. There was an exception to that last night, Justin Robleski of the Dodgers.
Yeah, your guy.
Well, he had a great first, I guess it was in the 7th, struck out the side, got the first down in the 8th, then gave up that booming home run to Miguel Vargas.
433 feet, 107 off the bat.
And then he got the next two batters out. That was kind of microcosmic of Justin Robleski's season. He's 10-2. By and large, he's been really, really good with a mistake here and a mistake there. And then that was kind of what happened there with that. Other than Robleski, no man pitched more than one inning. And there were several occasions where a guy pitched 2/3 of an inning or got one batter, that sort of thing. Not only was that in large measure by design, it happened by necessity as well. But I will also tell you this. For anybody who was watching this, I think they would agree that it did not seem to matter who was on the mound for the American League because they were going to get the National League hitters out. American League pitchers faced a total of 30 National League hitters. They struck out 15 of them. Half of those batters they struck out. They allowed 3 singles. That was it. And a walk. That was all that happened. And it was very impressive, very dominant. It started with Dylan Cease from the Blue Jays, who, while being mic'd up, along with catcher Shea Langoliers, the Baylor Bear product, were engaged in a conversation and with the booth with Joe Davis and John Smoltz. They're calling the game on Fox. But in past, I kind of let it bother me a little bit. I was like, let the guys concentrate on the game. Like, it's an exhibition. And then one thing that was impressive about it when Cease was talking, he didn't really converse that much with Joe and John. It was mainly with Langoliers. We're going to go hard slider here. We're going to go fastball down and away.
Because pitchers don't usually get that luxury. Direct line into their catcher's ear.
Right. So it was a lot of that. And so that was interesting. That part of it was.
Let's go back to it. Let's go back to that one.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one. Go back to the slider. So that part, I think, had some use. When they were talking to outfielders, whether it was Pete Crow Armstrong or somebody on the American League side, that was good too. The one part I wasn't that impressed with, and this is on Fox, on their technicians for this, was when they did that little powwow with the pitchers when they had Justin Verlander and Jacob Mizorowski and who else?
Schlittler.
Yeah, Cam Schlittler of the Yankees. Outside noise kept kind of stepping on it a little. And I don't know that you can do anything about that because they're all mic'd up and things of that nature. You'd have to have a pretty fast audio man with his hands killing the talkback buttons. It probably wasn't going to do that. They're probably going to leave everybody's mics open. So that happened as a result of that. But by and large, things were okay. They were executed, I think, okay off of that. In the end, it was a 4-0 American League victory. They dominated with what they did on the mound. Now, I think everybody got in the game that was on the roster except for 2 guys. Both were pitchers, if I'm being correct. Justin Verlander, we knew was not going to pitch. He's still on the injured list. So that's why they had a lot of fun talking with him. The other is Chris Sale for the Braves. And Dave Roberts, the National League manager from the Dodgers, was asked, hey, Sale's the only one who didn't pitch. Why did he not pitch?
So it was one of those things where the organization wanted us to stay away from him. And so I think he just pitched recently, and it's a lot of, so for us, we really had, 10 innings of pitching, and it was partly because Robleski went 2 innings, which allowed me to break up the 9th inning. And I think it was an organizational thing that they didn't want him to pitch.
Yeah, if we're being completely honest. And what I started to say earlier was the All-Star, the modification of baseball's All-Star game, which does separate itself from what a regular season game would look like, is the abundance of pitchers used in the game. You don't have that in a regular season game unless things are going very, very wrong for your team. But, in a game where one team scored 3 runs in the first inning and another run wasn't scored until the 8th.
That's an average Nationals game, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
They'll use an opener, give up 3 in the first, starter comes in, good middle 6, bullpen implodes.
It should make you feel good as a Nationals fan that C.J. Abrams and James Wood were no different than any of the other hitters. They were flailing and missing, just like Freddie Freeman did. He did draw 1 walk, but Freeman also struck out in the key situations. Andy Pages struck out. 15 guys struck out.
I wonder, though, if the All-Star game has lost any of its luster in that now we get to see these balanced schedules. We get to see the National League go against the American League almost every weekend. There's a marquee matchup between the two leagues. So it was always the best All-Star game because the guys were actually competing, and you got to see the best matchup in a way that you wouldn't normally get to see.
Well, there was a time, certainly the OG days back in the the All-Star game started in 1933, but in the 40s and 50s and even well into the 60s, the starters played about 6-7 innings. There were some starters who played the entire game. Willie Mays played all 9 innings of several of the All-Star games. He, I think, still holds the record, most All-Star games, and that includes the 4 years from 1959 to 1962 when they actually played 2 All-Star games a year, separated by about 3 weeks. Like in early July and late July, or late June and early July. They played 2.
How odd.
They played 2. They played 2 All-Star games a year. And again, kind of like that third place game in the NFL, the playoff bowl, there were financial stipulations in there, charitable stipulations as a result of that. So anyway, we'll hear more from both Dave Roberts, the National League manager, and John Schneider, the American League manager, the manager of Toronto Blue Jays. We'll hear more from them throughout the course of the afternoon. Meanwhile, England with a good opportunity in the 36th minute, but going unanswered. They're still scoreless against Argentina in that World Cup semifinal. We'll keep you updated on that. Up next, Inconceivable here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday afternoon on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Delivering more is just how we do business at Group 1 Ford of South Austin. Get more selection with our huge inventory of brand new Fords and quality pre-owned rides. More value with bigger deals and more confidence with our Austin family that's been serving Central Texas drivers for over 2 decades. Whether you're hauling gear to Zilker Park or commuting down Mopac, you get more with the team that knows Ford best. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or online at group1fordofsouthaustin.com.
Friday, July 17th to Dell Diamond and beyond. Join the Express for Toy Story Night and step into Andy's room for a night of family fun. Plus, Budweiser Friday fireworks after the Express take on Las Vegas. Tickets at rrexpress.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available for those who qualify, including VA benefits.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The Cup is down to its final matches. 1 trophy, 1 champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now live in Texas, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, and every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
The World Cup is underway and it's been incredible. On our podcast, The Way In, with Daniel Alarcon and John Green, we're talking about the games that have delighted us, the teams that have inspired us, and what surprised us, all through the lens of being massive fans of the world's most beautiful game.
Daniel, I can hardly believe the drama that the group stage brought us, but now it's time to talk about the teams that are left as the tournament reaches its crescendo and decides the next World Cup champion.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, The Way In with Daniel Alarcon and John Green, and listen now.
This World Soccer Report is sponsored by MyPlates.com.
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
England faces defending champion Argentina today for a spot in the World Cup final. England coach Thomas Tuchel expecting a tough match.
We prepare for the best version of Argentina. We expect and hope and demand the best of ourselves.
Kickoff in Atlanta at 3 Eastern. The winner will meet Spain in Sunday's final.
Download the iHeartRadio app for live Fox coverage of every game.
This summer, Texas will be home to the flags, the chants, the waves, the passion. So drive your pride 24/7 with a MyPlates personalized plate. Create yours today. MyPlates.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like iHeartRadio Cafe, mellow classic rock, and the greatest singer-songwriters of all time.
Take it easy.
Billy Joel, Carly Simon, James Taylor, Elton John, Carole King, more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search iHeartRadio Cafe, and listen now.
iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
It's the morning kickoff show with Mike Hardball Hart and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. only on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Here's what inconceivable means on a Yacht Rock Wednesday afternoon. First of all, the fast food, junk food update. And really and truly, this doesn't fall into fast food or junk food. Cherries, there's actual cherries. Nothing wrong with cherries. They're not junk food, right?
I discovered those too late, and they're good. I didn't eat them growing up.
Cherries are good. Now, cherries have had their unfortunate place in history. Are you familiar with the death of the 13th president of the United States, Zachary Taylor?
Did he choke on a cherry pit?
He didn't choke. This would have been on the 4th of July, 1850. Zachary Taylor had been a military hero in the Mexican War, was elected president in 1848. He had never voted in an election before and really wasn't much for politics, but he was a popular choice and a popular candidate. So he's elected president, the last Whig Party president elected. And 2 years later, on the 4th of July, 1850, he was present for the laying of the cornerstone of what would become the Washington Monument. It took about 25 years to build. It was and you would know this, Jake, having grown up in the capital area, a brutally hot and humid 4th of July. You've had your share of those back there, haven't you?
In other words, the sky is blue.
Yeah.
In D.C. that time of year.
So it was extremely hot. And when he got back to what at that time was called the Executive Mansion, we know it as the White House, he cooled himself off by eating bowls of cherries with iced down pitchers of milk. Problem was, in those days, cholera was pretty rampant because of unsanitary conditions. And they think that the milk that got iced down was from unsanitary water from the Potomac River, was then later frozen on it. And he ate all these cherries too. So he developed gastroenteritis and died 2 days later. The cherries got a bad deal. But here's good news for those of us who like cherries, and I do. A new cherry is heading to stores, and families apparently are running to try it. It's a cherry called a strawberry cherry.
Oh.
That's what it's called.
Just like a blue raspberry, one of those artificial.
Exactly. Cherries apparently come in more varieties than you might think, varying both in color from the cherry red to a dark maroon, even yellow, and flavor, either leaning sweet or sour. And if you want to try a rare cherry, it's strawberry cherry season. Apparently, these are available at Whole Foods. Whole Foods did an Instagram post revealing that they're carrying this variant, the strawberry cherry.
Variant? What is it, like a virus?
Well, it's just a varied type of cherry. It's also referred to as a sweet freckle or strawberry reindeer because it's got some like freckles on it.
Okay.
It's not a hybrid of the two fruits, but it is instead a type of cherry that resembles a strawberry visually and allegedly taste-wise. Very short growing window in the middle of the summer, so they don't tend to be around for long. They're also only grown in Washington State, which makes them more exclusive. So you're headed out to Whole Foods, you might see the strawberry cherries. That's actually a thing.
What are these going to run you?
Eight,
yeah, I mean, Whole Foods, you never know.
Yeah, what the price will be per pound or whatever. But check it out and see. Here's your regular fast food, junk food update. Our friends at the Golden Arches, always tinkering with things. Apparently, they've come up with a new sauce.
Big Arch, by the way, is gone.
You know, kind of quietly went away, didn't it?
Yeah.
The other day, Linda and I were driving through Nashville on our way back. We actually stayed at the hotel where the Longhorn baseball team stayed when they played Vanderbilt back in May, and where the men's basketball team stayed for the SEC tournament. And it's a Marriott property. Right down the street is a McDonald's. And I said to her, that's where I tried the Big Arch after the Texas had gotten eliminated in the basketball tournament.
I remember doing a segment, checking in with you from Nashville. We're both, okay. We tiptoed around it. What do we think? 5 or 10 seconds of silence. It was okay.
Yeah. It was nothing good. Linda really misses the not the Grand Mac. She couldn't eat that in a million years. The Mini Mac, she liked that.
Oh, I never had that.
Yeah, that was the smaller version. Only had the one patty, but otherwise was kind of a Big Mac. But it's the Mini Mac. She said she missed that one, but that's not around anymore. And apparently, the Big Arch isn't either. But McDonald's has joined a food flavor trend. Caesar sauce. Like you would have like for a Caesar salad, Caesar dressing. They have a Caesar sauce on their bacon Caesar McCrispy sandwich.
I have an allergy to Caesar sauce.
Why should that surprise me at all?
There's anchovies
I've never
in there.
asked you that, but I knew that there's what?
Anchovies in there.
Okay, all right. You're allergic to anchovies?
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I actually like anchovies on a pizza. I do. Most people I know do not. That comes from my Italian heritage. My grandmother used to make homemade, the real thick Sicilian style pizza and put the anchovies on it. When I was little, I remember eating that. But you being allergic to
Sometimes
something.
I wonder, why is Craig so fascinated with my allergies? Okay,
there you go.
This is why.
There is reason number 8,763. Anyway, McDonald's is going to be offering a new Caesar sauce on the bacon Caesar McCrispy sandwich as a side for its recently reformulated McCrispy strips, and of course, in a variation on the snack wrap. So there's that. One other fast food, junk food item was sent. It's not a fast food junk food, but it is an inconceivable item. Sent in our good friend CD. We talk about these crazy prices that auctions fetch for seemingly the most commonplace things. CB sent this to me. A Super Mario 64 video game box. Okay? Just a video game box. Reportedly, according to the New York Post, it's sold at auction for over $10,000. Video game box for that. So
this is the box, not the actual game?
The game box, empty box, sold for roughly $10,706, and a collection of 5 trading cards for over $16,000 as part of an auction of retro video games and memorabilia. A box which originally contained the 1996 Nintendo 64 game Super Mario 64, signed by Mario creator and father of modern gaming, Shigeru Miyamoto, has sold for roughly $11,308, part of multiple collections of trading cards and retro video games sold by Eubank auctioneers in Surrey, England last week, which made a total of roughly $267,599.
I guess you
For
have to
an
know,
empty box.
you have to know it had the real thing in it if you're going to spend that much money.
Yeah.
And not buying a replica that somebody online 3D printed.
Exactly. Finally, we got one other thing to get to. It was another fast food, junk food update from our friends at M&M Mars. Remember I said, I like the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms. They got all these different flavors. Well, they got a new, it's not a new one. It's one they're bringing back. This one I can do without. Pumpkin pie flavored M&Ms. Now, my daughter, she'd be all about it. She loves everything pumpkin.
I love pumpkin bread.
Okay.
I'm not a big pumpkin spice guy.
Okay. Well, the pumpkin pie flavored M&M is returning soon, and before the fall, apparently. So something else to keep in mind.
That's what I call the some of the Longhorn fans who maybe wore the wrong shade of orange on game day.
Yeah. There's some of those. You'll see it. They got it at some place, and it wasn't. For those of you wanting to know, the actual official shade of burnt orange that the Longhorns wear is Pantone 159. That's the actual thing. If you were going to get something produced and you tell them, then they said, what shade do you want? Pantone 159. If you want it burnt orange, because that would be the true Texas burnt orange color, Pantone 159. So there you go. All right. That's inconceivable for today, Wednesday, on this Yacht Rock Wednesday. We'll be back to wrap up hour number 1 on 1300 The Zone. As the hot weather continues, the sports seem to be winding down during the summer, except, of course, Major League Baseball. But there's some other things going on as well. And, of course, we're spending more time indoors. Are you happy with how your home entertainment system is presenting all of this to you? Well, if not, why not give my friend Tom McKay a call at Audio Visual Consultations? You've heard me tell you what experts Tom and his staff are when it comes to home entertainment, but AV Consultations has expanded to become dealers and custom installers of Foresight Golf Simulator, something you can do indoors. So if you're wanting to improve your golf game, AV can get you hooked up with a Foresight simulator that can do the trick. AV Consultations now also offers full home and landscape lighting and automated lighting control. Give Tom McKay and his staff a call today at 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678, or you can find them on the web at avconsultations.com. Let Tom McKay and Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
Hi, I'm Burt Ward, Robin from Batman. We make natural, non-GMO ingredients, Gentle Giants dog food. Dogs eating Gentle Giants are living as long as 27 healthy, active years. Treat your dog to Gentle Giants' delicious dry and canned dog food.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Progressive Insurance makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Truck shopping just got easier because Covert Ford Hutto is now open on Saturdays. And right now, you can save $10,744 on a new 2026 Ford F-150 STX. Whether you're headed to work, the lake, or a Longhorns game day, the F-150 has the power and capability to get you there. Stop by Covert Ford Hutto this Saturday and drive home these incredible savings. It's a Covert deal. That's Covert Ford Hutto, right off of 79 in Hutto. CovertFordHutto.com.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. Amazon Fire TV supports iHeartRadio with a beautiful big screen display while you enjoy your favorite music, radio stations, and podcasts. Make sure you link your iHeartRadio account and use voice controls for easy navigation between content on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio on the big screen is easy to control from the remote or with voice controls, and it provides large cover art on the screen and can sync with your iHeartRadio account for seamless listening between your devices. Your iHeartRadio music, radio stations, and podcasts now on your big screen TV with Amazon Fire TV and the Fire Cube. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio. Anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
Coach Sark here. 1300 The Zone is your flagship home for the Texas Longhorns.
Okay. Halftime. England, Argentina, 0-0. And no goals.
You like fouls?
A couple of yellow cards have been issued, one on each side, right?
One on each side. A lot of basketball-style dust-ups where if it was a baseball fight, but only the bullpen who jogged in and sort of looked at everybody and then walked back their own.
Which I think is one of the dumbest things in all of sports. Guys jogging in from the bullpen after the thing has already been settled to play.
There's a trend on Instagram now. It's a guy that's acting out the mundane parts of baseball, saying it's always been my dream to be a bullpen pitcher that jogs in for a fight and then backs away.
Speaking of baseball, in the 4 o'clock hour, Jared Sandler of the Texas Rangers Television Radio Network will join us as well. Rangers are in first place at the All-Star break.
How about that?
We'll visit with him coming on the 4 o'clock hour. This is 13 Under the Zone.
Booking.com is the easiest way from a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Go on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text stop to stop. stop. This message furnished by this station.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Here's a quick tip from iHeartRadio Earth to help you make eco-smart choices at home. Tired of scrubbing pots and pans after dinner? It can be tempting to run the dishwasher for just a few dishes, but even efficient models use nearly the same energy and water per cycle, whether they're full or not. Save energy, water, and money by waiting until the dishwasher is full before running it. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. For tips or to take action, visit iHeartRadio.com/earth.
Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade football.
You mean soccer?
Right, soccer. Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade soccer. Know the game better than the market? You can earn cash trading on tournament and game outcomes, goals, assists, saves, corners, and much, much more.
Download the Polymarket app and use code BALL to unlock $50 free for your first trade. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
A thriller in the extreme.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every remaining match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
All the way up to the final, July 19th. The games are live
and for free. Just download the iHeartRadio app now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the studio who brought you the #1 podcast, The Piketon Massacre. This is Murder 101.
A group of high school students started a project to research a string of unsolved murders.
Those murders happened in the mid-1980s.
He's out there doing stuff. He just didn't stop.
What if this guy's still alive? Like, what if he comes after us?
For 3 decades, the mystery remained unsolved.
It wasn't just a class assignment, it was real life.
These women really deserve justice. They were just living their lives and they had their whole lives ahead of them.
There's a pretty good chance he's still alive.
It was a little scary, I'm not gonna lie.
Once you start getting a few tips, a few leads, then the cold case isn't so cold anymore.
What seemed like an ordinary high school class turned out to be anything but.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
This is KVET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station, and your home for the horns. Guaranteed human. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Second hour of the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Craig Way with you alongside the producer, Jake Herman. Glad to have you with us as well as we bring you the program here on a kind of a wet, drippy, what has been stormy afternoon. And in fact, I just got notification that they've done a ground stop, not in Austin that I've seen, but they've done a ground stop in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, both at DFW International Airport and at Love Field in Dallas because of storms in the area. So it's a stormy day all across the state of Texas. So do be careful. Have you ever flown into Love Field? I know you've obviously flown in and out of DFW.
Yeah. I think I went into Love Field one time. I think I was stopping there. Yeah, but I think I was just stopping over on the way to Birmingham.
Okay.
That's where I've got my grandmother lives there.
Right. All right. Flying from here on out there. Okay. That makes sense. On the text line, got a nice text. It said, I visited the Institute of Texan Cultures years ago. They had a little section on Abner Doubleday because we were talking about the founding of the baseball, founding of the game of baseball. And I said it would be a tall tale to say that he actually invented the game. But anyway, he says they had a little section on Abner Doubleday. The story said that when he arrived at Fort Bliss in 1871, he was there for about 17 months. He observed other soldiers playing a game on a field with a ball and something resembling a bat. Makes you think, was baseball really invented in El Paso? So I'm just going by what the Institute said.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a valid question. It would depend on how far back that went, because the Alexander Cartwright game, the Hoboken game, there was a book I read once years ago called The Jersey Game. And it got into that first ever recognized game between the Knickerbocker Baseball Club of New York that Cartwright was a part of, and another group, and the Knickerbocker group won, I think, 23-1 or something like that, and they played 9 innings, and it was all of those things that were codified and set out by Alexander Joy Cartwright. And the one thing about it, that game took place in 1845. So that would have preceded Doubleday in El Paso by 26 years. But to the texter's point, maybe it was started earlier than that, out there somewhere. Could have been.
The El Paso Browns played in the 1890s.
Okay.
So there is a long baseball history there.
Right. Well, by the 1890s, I mean, the National League was already well underway. It started in 1876 and all that. But it could mean that the starting of actually playing baseball in El Paso could have predated on back several decades, including prior to 1871 when Doubleday was out there.
Here's a name for you.
Uh-huh.
The El Paso Times has a piece. El Paso was introduced to baseball in the 1880s by early pioneers like Charles F. Give-a-Damn Jones, who organized the Santa Fe baseball team in the city.
Okay. All right. Well, and what the texter said here about 1871 in Fort Bliss is pretty interesting. I did not know that Abner Doubleday spent time at Fort Bliss, one of the largest military installations in the world. Of course, my most vivid memory of Fort Bliss happened 8 years ago, or was it 7 years ago, I guess, when the Longhorn men's basketball team opened its season playing the Arkansas Razorbacks on the Army base in Fort Bliss. And it was on a Friday night in November, and it was the night before Texas was to play Texas Tech in Lubbock. So what I did was to fly to El Paso and get a rental car to call the basketball game, then drive overnight from El Paso to Lubbock, cutting across southeastern New Mexico in the process.
Wow. Not a lot of lights on that drive.
Nope. And that was also the game where the internet went out on the base at the under 4 timeout of the first half. So I called the rest of the first half on the cell phone and got to halftime, and they got me a payphone, or not a payphone, a touchtone phone. And I called up the studio and flipped the phone upside down like a stick mic and called it all the way until the I believe it was the under 12 timeout of the second half when that happened. And then we finally got it back and was over. The media relations person at the base was very apologetic about it, saying, look, I'm sorry this happened, and that it worked out this way. And I said, it's okay. We got through it all. I said, but my biggest concern is with the internet going out on the base. I'm far more concerned about our nation's defense system. And he said, well, they have they have backup systems. But it was November of 2018, as I show.
It went out on me.
Oh, okay. It was November of 2018.
Here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. You have showed me that before. Show the camera for those watching with us.
And what that is Eddie Orrin is beside me, and what that is I'm holding the phone upside down. Now, I am wearing my headphones so that I can hear myself and that Eddie can hear me, but I'm basically passing the phone to it. So that went from the under 4 timeout of the first half to the under 12 timeout of the second half, like that, and then finished the game up regular after that.
How'd you know when you were back from breaks?
Well, I mean, I was on telephone and I would listen, put it up and then I could hear it bumping back and then I would go and start talking again.
Wow.
So you make do. You do what you have to do to get the game on the air and keep it on the air.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, a preview of the Open Championship, the final of the 4 golf majors. Our own Cameron Parker joins us next. By the way, England, Argentina still scoreless. They've begun the second half. They're in the 49th minute. No score in that semifinal. The winner to play Spain on Sunday for the World Cup Championship. But we'll talk some golf up next on 13 Under the Zone.
Longhorn Nation, the Texas Longhorns are on top of the college athletics world.
Longhorns have won their second straight softball national championship.
For the 3rd straight year and 5th time in 6 years, Texas Athletics has claimed the Director's Cup.
The Texas Longhorns are headed for the Final Four.
From the diamond to the court, everything runs through Austin.
Touchdown, Texas!
1300 The Zone, your home for champions, your home for the Horns. Hook 'em.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep services sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Join Austin FC at Casa Verde at In Cahoots on East 6th Street for the final week of our World Cup viewing parties. Experience the electric atmosphere and all the emotion of the tournament's final rounds. Catch the semifinals on July 14th and 15th, the 3rd place match on July 18th, and the FIFA World Cup final on July 19th. Don't miss a moment. Join the party at Austin FC's Casa Verde for the final matches of the 2026 World Cup.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each. $30 per month each line with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet. Rely on 2 lines. Essentials choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices. Call 844-844-iHeart today. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Rich. That's rich. Enter it now.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
So cool. Thank you.
But did you know that you can make almost anything a preset? Your favorite local station, sure. But your favorite podcast, that amazing playlist you made for free, even iHeart stations you can't get on the radio, like Freeform Radio and Alternative Rewind.
That's a game changer.
Whatever you choose, it's as easy as a tap to make a preset. Find out what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here. Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Boys.
Show of hands out there if you knew this was Doobie Brothers. Now you know when it's called Just in Time here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. Update on the World Cup. A grievous error by the Argentines back in their area, and England capitalized with a goal. And in the 56th minute now, England leads, or as they would say, England lead Argentina 1-0 there in the World Cup semifinal.
Yeah, it's Anthony Gordon who went viral for his funny exchange with the Mexican coach.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's right. So he finished off, but it really started with a mistake in the back by Argentina giving it away, and Gordon winds up capitalizing with the goal. I mentioned that Cameron Parker was joining us here to for a preview of the Open Championship. However, it should be noted that Cam is also very much an aficionado of in international soccer. Big fan of Chelsea, if I remember correctly. Right.
Go Blues, go Blues.
Yeah, all right. So I mentioned earlier in the program that you have plans to be across the pond to go to the Open Championship next year at St. Andrews, correct?
That's correct. And I believe you'll also be out there as well.
The preliminary plans are underway for us to make it at least for the first day off of that. Now, when you're over there, are you going to go see Chelsea play if the schedule?
Not sure. I'm going over with my dad and hopefully a few other friends. We want to play some golf for sure.
Yep.
That's the main objective. So I would love to spend, possibly a week in Scotland, and then maybe a week, traveling to London. So we'll see. They've got great transportation there, the high rail. So hopefully I find some time in London as well.
Okay. All right. So that would be the case. And if I make it over there, we're going to endeavor to see my team, my football club, Liverpool.
There you go. Yeah.
Play. We'll see if that happens off of that. Okay. So you said when I mentioned England scoring, you seemed dismayed by it. Are you rooting for Argentina?
Well, England's my pick to win this match.
Is it
I
really?
like Messi. I love Messi. What he's able to do at 38 years old.
You don't like Harry Kane?
Harry Kane's all right.
It's very Irish sounding, Craig.
Reece James, Chelsea Blue on the team as well.
Yeah.
But, I like the storyline of Messi. But honestly, it's been a great World Cup. So, with Spain upsetting France, I did not see that coming. Excited to see Spain in the final. Honestly, England, Spain, or Argentina, Spain is going to set up, I think, very nicely for an incredible championship match on Sunday.
Are you going to pay any attention to the third place game on Saturday? France against the loser of this game.
Maybe a little bit, because it could be Lionel Messi's final World Cup game
in Miami.
In Miami, yeah, obviously, where he plays for Inter Miami, his MLS club. So that'll be a fun storyline. So of course, he said before that this was his final World Cup a couple times throughout his international career, as has Ronaldo, and they always seem to come back. So we'll see if it truly is his last one. It does feel like it is his last World Cup. So I'll be paying attention a little bit.
Okay.
I won't be as locked in probably to it, but
Yeah, we did a whole big thing about third place games yesterday on the program. Yeah. Because I know how American public feels about certain things, which, by the way, and this will lead us right into talk about the Open Championship. Did I read the quote correctly that Scotty Scheffler said, finishing in second place is worse than missing the cut? Did he actually say that?
That's a very Scottyism type quote.
It's a very Ricky Bobby thing. If you're not first, you're last, that kind of thing.
I know he did say that, he will be dead, so his legacy doesn't really matter too much. As did, Rory McIlroy. So
yeah,
but that kind of sums up Scotty. It's a major championship week when Scotty Scheffler is talking about life and death, because he seems to always go in a little bit more in depth on his legacy, giving you some quotes that Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson wouldn't have given you.
Yeah, that's true. There's an article today previewing the Open in The Athletic with the headline 2026 Open Championship DFS picks. I don't know what that is.
Daily fantasy sites. Right?
That's why I don't know. Okay. All right. And the odds. And then it says, are Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy worth the price? Which gets into the favorite. So I'm trying to see what the price is. Do you know what the gaming
on those? I do not know.
Oh, well, Scotty is a plus 750. Rory is a plus 900 on the betting slip one. So, would those be your two favorites?
I think Rory McIlroy is probably, out of the big dogs, my favorite to win the Open Championship. Obviously, he won the Masters this season. He's taken a little bit more time off from the rigorous PGA Tour schedule and has spent more time focused on resting, healing up, and, scouting. He took some time to come over across the pond and scout Royal Birkdale, where they're playing at this week, which is not too far from Liverpool, actually. So, this type of game really, really suits his style of play. What they've done the Royal Birkdale, I don't know how much you guys have seen, but this course is baked out.
It's north of Liverpool. It's west of Manchester.
Yeah. And it's going to be feisty conditions this week. The fairways are rolling out. I think Jordan Spieth said on Monday that his 5-iron went 300 yards. It's very reminiscent to 2006 at Hoylake. That's the year Tiger Woods won, of course. It was right after his dad passed away, I believe, and he had the emotional embrace with Steve Williams, his caddy, on the 18th green, where he was hugging him and he just broke down, and you could tell Stevie was trying to get away from him, but Tiger wouldn't let go. It's also the Sunday where Sergio Garcia wore an all yellow mustard golf outfit, which hopefully was burned following that round.
But it's actually sported by the Savannah Bananas.
Yes. Yeah. They just took it. Right. But the point being is that tournament, the course was so firm and fast that we haven't really seen anything like it. And that's what we're in for conditions this week. So it's not going to suit the drivers, the guys who can drive the ball the farthest. It'll help the guys who are able to, or really tailor to the guys who are able to control their long irons, be able to find the fairway hit stingers. Rory McIlroy has that type of game. He's been playing great. I think really he should be the favorite. I know Scotty's kind of been up and down this year. I just don't think he has it. He missed the cut last week at the Scottish Open. A weird performance.
You thought
he
was going to win the U.S. Open.
I did. And he
but
was
now you've come away with it thinking
his
so
form
much.
since then just hasn't been great. Hasn't been the Scotty Scheffler that we're used to seeing. And I think the type of links golf that we're going to see on display this week, I don't think he has it in his bag right now, even though he is the defending Open champion, the champion golfer of the year, as they say.
Right.
I like Rory McIlroy. Now with that, guys like Matthew Fitzpatrick, he's had an incredible season. He's a gamer as well. He's a U.S. Open champion. I really could see him contending this week. He's a guy to look out for. Colin Morikawa, he won the Open Championship 2021. Beat out Jordan Spieth and Louis Oosthuizen, and the conditions were pretty benign that week. I don't think the wind will be up too much this week, so I could definitely see Morikawa, who has been kind of flying under the radar this season, pulling through and winning a championship. Sam Burns, who was my other pick to win the U.S. Open, finished one behind Wyndham Clark. He just had a kid, so congrats to Sam Burns and his wife on their daughter. If he is, able to, lock in, I can't imagine what it's like to have a kid and then fly over across the Atlantic. His game has been as good as anybody else on the planet right now. So, next to Rory, I like the game of Fitzpatrick. I like what we're seeing out of Sam Burns. And then two other names real quick. Justin Rose. Remember, he made his amateur debut, I believe, 98 at Royal Birkdale. And then Chris Gotterup, who won last week, the former Oklahoma Sooner and Rutgers Scarlet Knight, who won the Scottish Open a year ago. He has a low ball flight. This course sets up very well for him.
I know you're a big fan of the history of the game as well. The Athletic is saying perhaps the most famous moment at Royal Birkdale was not an Open Championship. It was what is commonly in golf circles known as the concession. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, with Tony Jacklin and Jack Nicklaus, right?
Very good. 1969 Ryder Cup. Jack Nicklaus conceded a short putt to Jacklin to have the competition finish in a tie. If he had said, no, you got to putt that out, and he missed it, then the Americans win. Instead, the concession has long been an example of the very best in sportsmanship, as it was said there. I think Lee Trevino won one of his two Open championships at Birkdale. The last time the Open Championship was contested at Birkdale was 2017. You remember who won then?
Of course, Jordan Spieth.
3 shots over Matt Kuchar. And then they point out that some of the notable names atop the leaderboard, or among the top of the leaderboard that week, who will be teeing it up this week. Ha-Tong Lee, who finished 3rd. McIlroy finished tied for 4th. Brooks Koepka tied for 6th at the Open. And then the other thing they talk about is Birkdale's not a real long layout. Short for a par 70 and small greens compared to other Open Championship sites. How do you think that will play?
Yeah, so it won't be a course where you need driver on every hole. And I'm curious to see how the golfers attack this golf course, because with it being so firm and fast, if the ball is really rolling out, I talked about, Spieth's hitting his 5-iron 300 yards. The last thing you want to do is find yourself in one of those fairway pot bunkers, right? Because then you're losing a stroke there. So will we see guys who, typically you think they're going to elect to hit an iron off the tee, but if they're so worried about the ball rolling out into a fairway, will we now see guys just take driver and just bash it down the fairway? And if it finds the rough, the thick stuff, then, maybe they'll just try and punch out. So I'm curious to see how it sets up, because initially it seemed like a course where obviously you don't need your driver to score well or play well. So if guys have irons in their hands, then it's going to favor more of the ball strikers. But with it being so firm and fast, we're going to see guys maybe just, kind of take the Wyndham Clark approach yet at Shinnecock, where, hey, I'm going to hit driver and I'm just going to hope I get a good lie in the rough. And most of the time, Wyndham Clark got a good lie in the rough and was able to get up and down for par, sometimes even birdie. So, I want to see how it'll play out. because truly I do hope it's an iron test, because that's where we see some of the best golf and the creativity come out, and where it favors guys like Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy, the true artists, the true shot creators. So we'll see how it looks this week.
In this piece that I read from The Athletic, they talked about that a couple of the notable exceptions to it otherwise being a shorter course. The short par 4 fifth hole has been reworked since the last time they had it there to make it more in keeping with the standards of the course. And they say the prevailing wind will be in the players' faces. So club selection off the tee will be interesting on that hole. The 15th hole has become a long par 3 at 241 yards and should be a test of players' timing and trajectory control on the finishing 9. And then number 18, they call it a big boy par 4. It's over 500 yards as a par 4 and should make for a nervy finish. That's obviously where driver really comes in handy.
Yeah, it's almost a completely different back nine from when Jordan Spieth won it in 2017. They took out the par 3 14th hole. They moved up the par 5 15th hole up to 14, and they built a brand new par 3, Craig, on the 15th at 241-yard par 3 that they're talking about, and then renovated 17 and 18, the 5th hole as well, which will be a fun, drivable par 4. Scotty Scheffler said yesterday on Monday, and I don't think he was intentionally throwing shade, but he said with this renovation, there's certain holes that look like they're on a different golf course. So
interesting.
And that typically will happen when you renovate a link style golf course like that. They added more. The green complexes got a little bit more severe than in past. But again, Craig, when you have a course that's so short like this, then really you're only the golf course's only the fence really can be the greens, and then how high you go the rough up next to the fairways, right? And link style golf isn't like that. They'll have dunes and fescue, but they're not going to grow the rough up like a PGA Championship or a U.S. Open. So they have altered the green complex a little bit here. They're not watering the golf course, but they are watering the greens. So they may be a bit more receptive compared to the firm and fast fairways. But I'm still excited for the test. I think we're due for one of the best Open Championships in a while. Because, the last couple of Open Championships have been runaway winners. Scotty last year, Xander 2 years ago, Brian Harmon, Shane Lowry. The best one we had was 2022 when Cam Smith shot that final round 62, I believe, at St. Andrews to come up and surpass Rory McIlroy. That was the last time we've had a U.S. Open or an Open champion winner where they did not start as the final the 54-hole leader. So I'm hoping we get something exciting this weekend, and the course is certainly setting up for it. The weather should be exceptional as well.
All right, you told us who you like as the favorites and those to watch, like a Morikawa and some of the other ones, and a Matt Fitzpatrick. Give me a dark horse, somebody that we're not really thinking that much about. I'm not saying Todd Hamilton dark horse or what was it, Ben Curtis.
Ben Curtis,
yeah. Ones that won a major and were never heard from again. But somebody that we're really not thinking about that much, but maybe somebody who's been playing well of late or had some recent success, or you think whose game might translate well to Birkdale, and even though a dark horse might have a real shot to win.
I mentioned Matthew Fitzpatrick. How about his brother Alex
Fitzpatrick,
who, remember, earned PGA Tour status after winning the team event, the Zurich Classic at Louisiana? And a lot of people thought that's a joke. How is he able to earn his PGA Tour card when he's winning as a team event? Well, since he earned that when he was able to get full status on the PGA Tour, Craig, he's done nothing but contend in every tournament and had a great finish at the PGA, had a great finish at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock, just finished outside his brother. He's top 10 in a lot of signature events, and his ball striking, obviously, he is an English lad, but he has great ball striking ability, hits it low, has a great stinger. This is a type of tournament, type of event that should fit his game. I believe he made the cut here last year at the Open Championship as well, and he's playing great golf. He's backed it up since him and Matt won the Zurich Classic, so that's a name to watch. I mentioned Justin Rose. He's getting closer and closer to 50 years old, but hey, there's been, Tom Watson was 50 50. How old was Tom Watson when he almost won?
60.
60. Yeah, 59-60.
I
right?
thought he was going to win, but then when he got on that last one, I thought, the one thing that hurt Tom Watson late in his game was the short putt.
Yeah.
And I thought, and if he had made that short putt, he was going to win. Kind of like, what was it? Tony Jacklin. Doug Sanders. For folks who Google it, if you've never seen it, Doug Sanders in his lavender sweater and lavender shoes missed an 18-inch putt. And it went to an 18-hole playoff the next day, and Jack Nicklaus took it from him. I think 1970, maybe.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 18 inches. And I think Henry Longhurst, the famed British golfer, oh my word.
But I say all that, and I think, Craig, if you look back, trying to think of the last time the Open Championship was won by someone from the United Kingdom. It may be because you have Scotty, Xander, Harman, Ken Smith from Australia.
Right.
Jake, you can probably fact check me here. I'm trying to think of who else has won the Open Championships recent history. Obviously, Spieth, Zach Johnson.
Going back to Rory, probably.
Molinari in 2018. And Rory technically is Irish. I believe he's from Northern Ireland.
He's from Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, you asked about the UK.
So the last English player that won the Open Championship would be, who would that be? Would that be
1992 is your hint.
Okay.
Multi-time Claret Jug winner.
Really?
In 1992.
So Faldo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sir Nick.
Has to be Faldo.
Okay.
Sir Nick. So so can Justin Rose or Matthew Fitzpatrick, maybe Alex, can one of those guys snap it? Can Rory win his second Open Championship? He's playing great form, or will it be another American? It should be a great weekend story. And guys, we're on the verge of history, because if Bryson DeChambeau misses the cut, he will have swept all 4 majors this year, and missing the cut would be the first multi-major champion winner before the age
to
of
miss all 4 cuts in 1 year.
Missed a cut in I forget. Justin Ray had the stat, but he's on the verge of history here, on the absolute verge of history. So we will be hate watching Bryson DeChambeau this week.
I thought you started to like him.
I do, but it's his history. You got to root for history, right?
Oh, okay, all right. So it's love-hate with you with DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Did you watch the All-Star game last night?
I did not, actually. I did not.
Really?
I'm a little bit out on All-Star games in all of sports, not just baseball.
I'm out.
The home run derby was great. I love going back to the old format, and I loved him shutting up the Philly crowd. But I'm out on All-Star games.
You didn't see Jacob Latz, get a strikeout?
Yeah. Let's go Rangers, baby.
Rangers. Then we got Jared Sandler coming on next hour. Anything we need to ask, Jared, from you?
Nothing off the top of my head, but
they're in first place.
Yeah, barely. And how many games are we behind the Dodgers in the win column?
Don't worry about that.
25, 30.
You wouldn't have to worry about seeing the Dodgers until
we are in first place.
Closer than the Padres are.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't have to worry about seeing the Dodgers until October, the World Series, if it happens. And I'm not even sure they're going to win. So we'll see. That's all right. That's
Thanks,
Cameron
guys.
Parker. Join us with our Open Championship preview. And Argentina has really been pressing the attack on England.
Oh, yeah.
As the match has progressed.
2 really good chances during our conversation about the Open Championship, and Pickford has made 2 really good saves.
So it's still 1-0 England in the 77th minute now of action on that goal in the 55th minute from Gordon off of the turnover in the back end by Argentina. So we'll keep you posted on that. More coming up here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The Cup is down to its final matches. 1 trophy, 1 champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now live in Texas. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, and every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Delivering more is just how we do business at Group 1 Ford of South Austin. Get more selection with our huge inventory of brand new Fords and quality pre-owned rides. More value with bigger deals and more confidence with our Austin family that's been serving Central Texas drivers for over 2 decades. Whether you're hauling gear to Zilker Park or commuting down Mopac, you get more with the team that knows Ford best. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or online at group1fordofsouthaustin.com.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about it is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, the rest up bathroom custodian. Is there toilet paper? No. Paper towels? No. Clean stalls? Also no. But the soap dispenser is full, and that counts for something. Thanks, hero. Know what else keeps truckers going? Progressive's expanded cargo protection through their enhanced Cargo Plus coverage. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. Not available in California.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
A champion will be crowned.
That is a wondrous goal.
And every remaining goal,
Magical.
and save,
What a save. Unbelievable stuff.
can be heard for free on the iHeartRadio app thanks to Fox Sports.
What a moment in the tournament.
All the drama.
Spain will play in the FIFA World Cup final.
One champion.
The referee blows the full-time whistle.
Don't miss a moment. Download the free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
This World Soccer Report is sponsored by MyPlates.com.
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
England faces defending champion Argentina today for a spot in the World Cup final. England coach Thomas Tuchel expecting a tough match.
We prepare for the best version of Argentina. We expect and hope and demand the best of ourselves.
Kickoff in Atlanta at 3 Eastern. The winner will meet Spain in Sunday's final.
Download the iHeartRadio app for live Fox coverage of every game.
Real fans have plates. The best way to show the colors of your favorite team on the highways and byways of Texas is with a MyPlates personalized plate. Create your custom plate today at MyPlates.com.
iHeartRadio, did you know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio makes it incredibly easy to always be up to date on your favorite podcast? When you find a favorite, make sure to tap that follow button. Yep, just like on Instagram. So if you figure that out, you got this. Hit that follow and you'll get notifications as soon as new episodes drop. Your followed podcasts are collected in your library for instant access. And we'll download the latest episodes right to your phone so you don't have to stream them and you can listen offline without the internet. And you get all this for the low price of free. If you're looking for that great podcast experience, you don't need another app. We've got all that covered for you free with iHeartRadio. #1 for music, radio, and podcasting, all in one app.
iHeartRadio. Longhorns baseball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Now can play a pass.
Rogers, the target, tracking it over his shoulder. Acrobatic clearance from Tagliafico, but job not done as it was held up by Rice. Rogers chance to cross, hooks it, it's Garden! It's Anthony Garden who puts England in front early in the second half of the semifinals.
Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Voice.
You need
call out my name when you're only lonely.
Well, maybe it's just Argentina that's feeling a little bit lonely right now. It's still 1-0, 1-0. On that goal, you heard John Strong's call from Fox there on the Anthony Gordon goal, which was set up by a mistake made in the back, a giveaway. And then Johnny on the spot, Gordon came in to whack it home, and it's 1-0 England. They're now in the 83rd minute, and of course there'll be stoppage time, probably, I'm going to guess, in the 8 to 10 minute range. And so we'll see if England holds on to face Spain on Sunday in the final. And if that happens, then Argentina and France in the third place match, which I think everybody thought was going to be the final on Sunday, if it happens that way. I think people probably Cameron said he picked England to win.
Yeah, and I talked before the tournament with, and he came on the show frequently while you were on vacation, Eric Goodman, who writes with the Verde Report, the Chronicle, and he's been at the International Broadcast Center for FIFA in Dallas. He's one of the few people I heard that had kind of picked Spain before the tournament, but he admitted during the tournament France was giving him a little more confidence than Spain was, just in terms of the way they looked throughout the eye test. But Spain had this ability, Craig, to kind of strangle the game and hold possession, frustrate opponents, and bleed time away quickly. And that's going to be a tough test for whoever comes through this game.
You know, a comp might be what the American League pitching did to the National League last night in the All-Star game. That's one thing. A comp might be what the Carolina Hurricanes did throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. Their defense just suffocated the opponents all the way, inclusive of Vegas in the last 3 games of that Stanley Cup final.
I as a Capitals fan and as somebody who covered the Capitals in the 2024-25 season, I hated facing the Hurricanes because you were probably going to take about half your amount of shots as usual, and if they got a lead, you knew you were behind the 8 ball. Every goal they were up by felt like 2.
And that's what happened to France yesterday. They just didn't get many opportunities, let alone be able to cash things in on that. By the way, here's another soccer note. I think you've probably seen this. It came down yesterday. You might have seen this, maybe not. And for other folks, and some folks may not care unless you care about soccer. Kind of a big development has happened with television with soccer. If you're familiar with soccer, you'd be familiar with the Bundesliga. That's the main major league of soccer in Germany, the top league in Germany. Top men play in that league there. Home to some of the powers in Europe like Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. And there's several U.S. men's national team players who play in that. They just did a deal to have their matches televised in the U.S. In a deal that's going to earn them $100 million over 5 years on a new deal where this company, Versant, that got it, is going to split these matches between the USA Network and Fandango. That's the online platform most known for publishing movie information and selling movie theater tickets. Same ones as well. So, and so they've got a new deal. And for the past 6 years, Bundesliga matches have aired primarily on ESPN Plus, but they're losing them. They're losing out to that. Meanwhile, it's level in Atlanta. Argentina has squared it with England.
That they have, Craig. They got a corner kick and took it short. Messi laid it off to his teammate Enzo Fernandez, who looks to be about 23, 24 yards away. He is outside the area, and he just bends a ball beautifully into the middle left pocket of the net to tie this thing at 1.
Okay. This thing could well be headed for extra time because right now they're in the 87th minute. There will be obviously stoppage time that will be added, but if nothing is scored there, then they will go to extra time, as they call it. It's not sudden death. It's 30 minutes of overtime. split into two 15-minute halves, and then they change sides of the field after that and do it. It's not sudden death. There's no golden goal. They play the full 30 minutes, and if they're still tied, then it goes to penalty kicks. If one scores and they make it all the way through, then they hold on and they get the win. So anyway, 1-1 now, Argentina and England. We'll be back to wrap up hour number 2 on 1300 The Zone.
Fall in Texas means one thing: Texas Longhorns football. And you won't miss a snap all season long right here on 1300 The Zone. Touchdown, Texas! Your home for the Horns. Hook 'em.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, bolts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Booking.com is the easiest way from a day surrounded by noise to a stay surrounded by nature. That's nice. Come on, book it. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade football.
You mean soccer?
Right, soccer. Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade soccer. Know the game better than the market? You can earn cash trading on tournament and game outcomes, goals, assists, saves, corners, and much, much more.
Download the Polymarket app and use code BALL to unlock $50 free for your first trade. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
It's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory. It's bold. It's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Progressive Insurance makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Looking for a great deal on a new truck? Head to Covert Chevy in Hutto. It's now open on Sundays for your convenience. Right now, get $13,923 off of MSRP on a new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 LTZ. Whether it's for work, the ranch, or your next road trip, there's never been a better time to drive home in a Silverado. Visit Covert Chevy Hutto and experience the Covert difference. That's the Covert deal. That's Covert Chevy Hutto right off 79 in Hutto. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
This whole surviving life thing is pretty tough. Some people use therapy to get through it, others use their friends, and some just fight their way through. Whatever season of life you're in right now, this podcast is for you. Hi, I'm Morgan from The Bobby Bones Show and host of the new podcast, Take This Personally. I'm bringing on my friends and experts to cover a variety of topics in hopes of us all feeling a little less alone in this crazy world. Nicole, the neuroscientist, will help us understand why we are the way we are.
Our anxious brain or our emotional brain will make us believe things that are not necessarily true.
Jared can relate to fighting our hardest battles.
I was living on couches. Sometimes I was in my car.
I was just all over the place. I think about it now, how many people opened their doors to me.
We will explore what it means to change careers.
I think a lot of people put the pressure on their career to fulfill their passion, when your purpose or your passion and your calling can be something that's much deeper than just your job.
And how we can all find that special love in this wild dating era.
In order to find the right one, before you do that, you have to be able to identify the wrong one.
This podcast will be the guide you need to surviving life with a friend at your side.
If a friendship is about give and take, but we just want to give, like, I don't want to take, I don't want to impose, I don't want to inconvenience her, then you're not reaping the full benefits of friendship.
The first episode is out now. Download it wherever you get your podcast.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
It's the Morning Kickoff Show with Mike Hart, Bull Harge, and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Messi on Spence, trying to find space for that left foot into the middle. Enzo Fernandez! Argentina! They always find a way, and they've tied the game!
Yeah, Argentina seems to find a way. That was a goal by Enzo Fernandez to tie the score, one we mentioned. But just a moment ago, it's happened again. Lightning has struck again, and the indomitable Lionel Messi did not score, but he laid off a goal to Martinez, who off. I was really surprised that England backed so far off of Messi, and he laid in a beautiful ball, and it was headed in by Martinez, and Argentina leads 2-1. They're in stoppage time now. They've got about 7 minutes to go in stoppage time. So England, which in the 87th minute held a 1-0 lead, now finds itself trailing 2-1.
Don't you love the World Cup, Craig? How can people kind of watch this and decide, nah, I'm good. I'll wait another 4 years to try again.
Fernandez in the 85th minute, Martinez in the 90th.
You want to hear it taking us into the break?
Why not?
Resets. Messi driving in. Messi crossing back. Oh, there it is. Lautaro Martinez. Stoppage time. Goal for Argentina.
I'll try and rack up the Telemundo calls as well.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fun. All right, we got one more hour of the show to go to let you know how that wraps up. Also, we'll talk some more Major League Baseball, have a recap of the All-Star game, and coming up in this final hour, also, Jared Sandler of the Rangers Radio and Television Network joins us to talk some Ranger ball. This is 13 Under the Zone.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the station.
Hey, it's Hannah from Central Texas #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. If you love the Longhorns as much as Rowdy does, you will have to watch all the action on our 69 big screen TVs while enjoying ice cold beer, craft cocktails, and our Texas-sized menu. And check out our Monday and Friday steak specials. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy, located off I-35 in Round Rock. Let's get rowdy. Visit us at Go Rowdy Cowboy.
Change comes fast. So wouldn't it be nice if one thing stayed the same? Like the price of your Wi-Fi. Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you're guaranteed 5 years of the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with no annual contracts and our best equipment. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi and stream your favorite podcast on iHeartRadio. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Hi, I'm Burt Ward, Robin from Batman. We make natural, non-GMO ingredients Gentle Giants dog food. Dogs eating Gentle Giants are living as long as 27 healthy, active years. Treat your dog to Gentle Giants' delicious dry and canned dog food.
From the FIFA World Cup, competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams or higher malic acid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of your children.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
A thriller in the extreme. iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every remaining match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
All the way up to the final, July 19th. The games are live
and for free. Just download the iHeartRadio app now. This is KVET AM Austin, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, an iHeart radio station, and your home for the Horns. Guaranteed you win. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Third and final hour of the program on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Maybe you're not a fan of the World Cup or international soccer. Maybe there's not enough scoring for you. Maybe there's not enough action strategy. I understand that. That's a traditional, hard-boiled American sports fans approach to it. I understand where you're coming from on that. But the drama that happens in this is at times not to be believed. We played for you a little while ago the first goal match from the first half for England, and they had a 1-0 lead at that. Then right near the top of the hour, we played you John Strong's call on Fox of the equalizing goal for Argentina. Now, what we're going to do is, I want you to hear this. First of all, this is the International Hall of Fame soccer broadcaster, Andres Cantor, with his call of the equalizing goal for Argentina. And then we got something else for you to hear. But first, this is how crazy it is, certainly, for those who follow it and are into it from down south. And here's Andres Cantor's call.
De Paul. Messi para enganchar. Buena esta para Enzo que vuelve a probar. ¡Gol! 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 argentino. Argentino. Lo hizo Enzo Fernández en el cuarto remate desde afuera. Impecable. En este mismo estadio fue el héroe. En el otro arco contra Egipto lo vuelve a hacer para rescatar el partido. Desde arriba pateó Diego.
Okay, so that tied the score. And who was it that had the tying score again?
That was Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez
who
tied it.
Who had the go-ahead goal in stoppage time against Egypt.
Okay. And he scored that in the 85th minute to tie the score at 1. 5 minutes later, this happened.
McAllister libre. McAllister Palo otra vez. Y va Messi. Primero Spence. Maca. Messi engancha y va. Tiró con la derecha. ¡Golazo argentino! Asistencia de Leo con la derecha. Por aquí no, por allá sí.
As you could guess, that was a go-ahead goal for Argentina 5 minutes later. Who scored the go-ahead?
Lautaro Martinez.
Which has now become the game winner. It has gone final. That was in stoppage time. Argentina defeat England, as they would say in the plural singulars. It was a great moment there. Harry Kane and Lionel Messi congratulating one another. And Messi will have one more opportunity to win one more World Cup. England's run is over. And what did you say? Your friend's watching in Germany? It's pretty funny what you said.
This is great. So my friend is on a trip to Germany. He's been watching this game, and the crowd split. It's a fun atmosphere. They're watching. The entire broadcast of the game is in German.
Yeah.
But when that second goal went in, he said, well, they just said something in plain English, 60 years of hurt.
Oh, because it was 1966, the only time England's been in the World Cup final, and they won it that year over West Germany. We talked about that yesterday. It was at Wembley Stadium. England was hosting that year, and they won 4-2 in that championship. They will not be going back to the final. When they were up 1-0 in the 85th minute, and did Messi get an assist on both the goals?
Messi assisted both.
Yeah.
The first was just the right pass rolled out into space. The second, just a perfect cross. Perfect.
Yeah,
just like
for a heading finish.
Just like he did to save them against Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah. So
game-winning assists in back-to-back games after Argentina trailed with under 10 minutes to go in regulation in back-to-back games.
Amazing. So
it's going to be a movie about this.
So it'll be Argentina against Spain on Sunday in the World Cup final. England and France will meet in the third place match on Saturday. And heartbreak for England because but they had really gotten defensive in the last 10 minutes of the match, just laying back, and Argentina was just wailing away at them, and finally were able to break through. And so Argentina, chance to defend its World Cup title on Sunday against Spain. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Coming up later on this hour, we'll talk some Ranger baseball. And we'll do that with Jared Sandler from the Rangers Radio and Television Network. He'll join us to talk about the Rangers at the All-Star break. And he'll talk about that. Also, the Rangers, there was an announcement today that the Rangers are switching their streaming partners, and we'll ask him about that coming up as well. So we'll do that. Today is one of those days, other than what happened in Atlanta with England, Argentina. Today is one of those days that you call one of the dead days in sports. Because other than some minor league baseball, I guess, NBA Summer League basketball, maybe.
Pass.
Yeah.
Well, actually, don't pass. You don't see a lot of passing in the Summer League.
So other than that, nothing.
The ESPY Awards are tonight, Craig.
Pass. Never been a big fan of that. The Jim Valvano speech was probably the highlight moment in the history.
Stuart Scott have a speech there too.
Yeah, that was good. And Craig Sager. They all three, headed down the home stretch of their lives, being taken away from them ultimately physically by cancer. Robin Roberts gave a great speech as she had recovered from it as well. But a lot of the other stuff, a lot of the moments that he give for whatever the best sports moment or this or that, it's very, very subjective off of that. So I'm not as much into that off of that. But some people may like it. They certainly may like it more than watching international soccer. I don't know. I would rather watch a great soccer match like that. And they're going crazy in Buenos Aires because they're showing that, in Argentina and in all places. So,
well, you watch something like this, you're not so pumped up about seeing best sports moment of the year, and it's Indiana versus Miami. Doesn't feel as big as this right now. But of course, ESPN, the ESPYs, right? It's mostly focused on their content.
Yeah, right. I get it. I understand that, but it's
Spurs fans might not want to watch.
Yeah, that's true as well. All right, tremendous moment there off of that. All right, coming up, a recap of the baseball All-Star game. We'll hear from the two managers, also from Cody Bellinger, right? The MVP. Do we have that?
We can.
Okay. All right, so we'll do that as well. We'll continue here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday on Sports Radio AM 13 under the zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Everything runs through Austin.
Swing and a miss! Light the tower! The Texas Longhorns have won their second straight softball national championship.
Congratulations to Texas softball on winning back-to-back national championships.
Barry going back. Warning track. Deep. It's gone. Tegan's 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
1300 The Zone. Your home for champions. Your home for the Horns.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
Presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena. Streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com.
Brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile, proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Get that. This is my song feeling. Only at Metro.
Join Austin FC at Casa Verde at In Cahoots on East 6th Street for the final week of our World Cup viewing parties. Experience the electric atmosphere and all the emotion of the tournament's final rounds. Catch the semifinals on July 14th and 15th, the third place match on July 18th, and the FIFA World Cup final on July 19th. Don't miss a moment. Join the party at Austin FC's Casa Verde for the final matches of the 2026 World Cup.
If you run a business and need to get your message to your next customers fast, nothing is faster than audio with iHeart. Let us help you grow your business at the speed of sound today at 844-844-iHeart.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade football.
You mean soccer?
Right, soccer. Polymarket is proud to be the world's top choice to trade soccer. Know the game better than the market? You can earn cash trading on tournament and game outcomes, goals, assists, saves, corners, and much, much more.
Download the Polymarket app and use code BALL to unlock $50 free for your first trade. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
From the Lorenz and Lorenz Traffic Center.
We have slow traffic starting to build now, 35 northbound between 7th and MLK Jr., under 5-minute delay. Also under a 5-minute delay, 35 southbound between MLK Jr. and Cesar Chavez, where it is a bit backed up. We do have an accident reported Metric Boulevard at Bittern Hollow, 1 Lamar Boulevard at West Grady Drive, and also we do have an accident Hogeye Road north of Quiet Oaks Lane. I'm Kat Cortez with your Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green. Enter it now.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
No more waiting until the morning. Nightcap with Unc and Ocho is our new evening sports talk destination with NFL legend Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, and me, Shannon Sharp. Come hang out with Unc and Ocho as we give out unfiltered tape and instant reaction to the biggest games, biggest moments right after they end.
Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em horns. We're back. It's the Craig Way Show with Hall of Fame broadcaster and voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me, how long you gonna stay here, Joe? Some people say this town don't look good in snow. You don't care, I know. Ventura Highway.
Here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday with America with Ventura Highway. As we continue getting you through this afternoon, hopefully you're staying high and dry about it, out of the way from the rain that's coming around the area. Major League Baseball will pick up its schedule. What? There's one game tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, the Mets are playing, say, the Braves tomorrow. I'll check on that.
No, the Rangers play the Braves because we're going to visit with Jared Sandler.
Oh, the Mets are playing the Phillies tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Again, coming up in a little bit, we're going to visit with Jared Sandler from the Rangers Radio and Television Network to talk about the Rangers, who will begin the second half of the season, or the figurative second half of the season anyway, in Atlanta against the Braves, the leaders in the National League East, although Atlanta kind of stumbled to the finish line there in the first half off of that. So did the Dodgers in the West. They got swept at home by Arizona. The difference is LA's up by 11.5 in the division, where Atlanta's lead over Philadelphia, who finished the first half hot, is only 2 games. So
I wouldn't have believed that if you told me a month ago the lead would be 2.
Yeah, they were way out, and they had the best record in baseball for over a month, and then gave a lot of it back. Last night, the American League won 4-0, and kind of dominated some things. One of the themes that happened was when Junior Caminero got hit it was O'Reilly from the Cardinals, wasn't it?
Yeah, Riley O'Brien.
Riley O'Brien hit him in the hand. Fortunately, there was no real damage done, maybe a bruise or something like that, but the MRI and the x-rays were all negative, and so that's good. This is just an example of how when reporters are covering a game, sometimes I don't know if they're looking for a different slant or a different angle on something, or if they're just, as the saying would go, eat up with dumbass in terms of asking questions. So Dave Roberts, the National League manager of the Dodgers, was asked if it was unusual for O'Brien, a closer for the Cardinals, to pitch that early in the game. It's an all-star game, right? But here's Dave Roberts on it.
No, I think it just got away from him, and trying to line pitching up for the all-star game when you got starters that are starters and coming out of the pen, or relievers that are used to going later in the game. I think the main thing is that I heard that the x-rays were negative, so Junior came out of it just fine. So thank goodness, and very grateful that he came out okay. He ended up pitching a clean inning after that, and I know he was happy to know that Junior didn't have there was no fracture or anything like that. And yeah, it's never easy for a guy who's pitching late to pitch early and things like that.
So whoever the reporter was, and I don't know who it was, but whoever it was, he was like a dog with a bone, because he actually asked Dave Roberts 2 or 3 questions about that. Then it's the same reporter, he asked John Schneider about that, about what went through his mind when Caminero went down after being hit by the pitch.
Yeah, that's what the last thing anyone wants to see, whether you're here or sitting at home. I know x-rays on Junior's pinky were negative and everything seems to be okay. And I shot Kevin Cash a text kind of right after that happened, and he was appreciative of that. So we'll see them in about a week. So I hope Junior's all right. He's an unbelievable baseball player and even better person. So you're trying to do what's right by everyone. It's the last thing that you want to see, like I said, but glad he's okay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when the Phillies do get together with the Rays. There are the Phillies being hot within 2 games of first, and the Rays actually lead the American League East right now. All right, so there was that. Continue with the pitching theme. Schneider was asked, what did the pitching dominance? Remember, the National League managed to cobble together a grand total of 3 hits and a walk. That was it. And so it was the first shutout since, 2013, I believe they said it was. I believe it was the first shutout in 13 years. I think I read that or heard that maybe last night. But what did it say about that?
Yeah, 2013. It was also the American League, and it was at Citi Field.
Okay. So, so what did the shutout mean and the pitching dominance say about this game? Schneider was asked.
That was impressive from everyone. Really, really happy for Dylan, getting 3 strikeouts in the first. And I haven't listened to the whole commentary yet. I'm sure it was pretty entertaining with him and Langoliers talking, but it's the game now. Guys' stuff is unbelievable. To see Luis Arraez strike out and Yandy Diaz strike out a couple times, it's just kind of like a you never see it. So it speaks volumes to how good these guys are. Hitting is at an all-time high, and I think as the game kind of went, I think the bullpen guys kind of fed off it a little bit. Guys coming out of the bullpen, they were all excited coming off the mound. So it speaks volumes to how good the pitching is. For
wow.
Sure.
Yeah, sure does. Then Schneider was asked, how much did the early lead? They got 3 runs, remember, in the first inning, which 2 of those coming in on a single by Cody Bellinger, which wound up naming him the MVP. But how much did the early lead help the team?
It was nice because you get out to a lead. It gives Dylan a little bit of a chance to take a deep breath, I think, and before the first inning. But it kind of just, you're always worried about guys getting at least 1 at bat. So that's when you're making a lineup, you're trying to figure all that stuff out. So it was nice that you sent 8 guys to the plate and you knew certain guys were going to get a couple at bats, and you can kind of get them in, get them out, and get everybody in. That was the biggest part. But against a guy like Sanchez, there were some pretty good at bats, even Bobby's walk and Shea's walk and a couple knocks from the Yankee boys. But it was nice to kind of do that so everyone could get in.
Yeah. You think about this. City of Philadelphia and the Phillies and Major League Baseball put on a great show for the game. When the game started, the guys from the Phillies did not perform very well. In fact, just about all the National League guys didn't perform very well. But
much to the delight of everyone in D.C. who says, why is Brandon Marsh starting this game over James Wood?
Yeah. Neither of those two guys did very well when they had the opportunity. But Marsh, Bryce Harper, who was mic'd up, struck out while being mic'd up. Schwarber, same thing, happened with him as well. And then there was the starting pitcher, Christopher Sanchez, who had been so dominant and got touched up for 3 runs and took the loss in the first inning. Dave Roberts was asked, how important was it to have a Philly start the game and one close? Because that the closer,
Johan Duran.
Duran was about the only one who actually performed well in a Philadelphia uniform.
By the way, Dave Roberts, he owes the Phillies.
Yeah, exactly. so Duran close it. Sanchez starting, and the importance of that and the Philly involvement with the game.
It was great. I think having him start, having Duran finish the game. It's the host city, and the city of Philadelphia with Major League Baseball did a fantastic job all week. And then for us to be able to get Harper in there, to lead Schwarber off, and to get Marsh in there, all of it. I mean, honestly, we didn't win the game, and then as far as the National League, but it was just a great production, and it was good to get everyone in there. I think that with Christopher, it was very emotional for him, pitching here, being a start of the game. So I don't think that, it's not a normal start. So he just wasn't as sharp with his command as he normally is. But, it's one of those things that it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it just happened that way.
And then there was another one of those dog with a bone moments there with a reporter who asked both Dave Roberts and John Schneider this basically theoretical question. Now, if you've watched the All-Star game at any point over the years, you do know that it is difficult for every single player to play. And having said that, every player did play last night with the exception of 2. The only ones, put it this way, 2 that could have been quote-unquote eligible. Justin Verlander is still on the injured list, so he couldn't go. And, he didn't play pitch. Also, we mentioned earlier, Sale did not pitch as well. Mizorowski didn't pitch. We knew Verlander wasn't going to pitch. And Cam Schlittler did not pitch, right? Those guys all did not pitch because they had just worked over the weekend. And Verlander's on the injured list. So they weren't going to get into the ballgame.
Yeah, and I should say one of the best pitchers in baseball, Chase Burns, who didn't miss a start with whatever this groin injury is, but is having quote-unquote tightness, decided not to pitch.
Well, and I'll see your Chase Burns and raise your Shohei Ohtani, who didn't even make the trip there, even though he was voted in as the DH, but that the knee has been bothering him, so he wasn't going to, and he's having a great season on the mound, but he wasn't going to pitch, and he wasn't going to DH. So that's a given. There's going to be some guys that just don't get in the game. Now, Major League Baseball, and I give a lot of credit to the managers on both sides. They had a really strident initiative to get all of the position players in the ball game, and they did. Every position player played in the game. There was only some pitchers who their clubs did not want them pitching, and there's now the guideline that if you pitched on Sunday, you're not going to pitch.
And then there's the Zach Wheeler of it all. It was passed over.
Right.
Then he was offered to be a replacement for some of the injuries in the National League.
Right.
And he said, nope, they disrespected me, so I'm not going to do it. Can you imagine the disrespect you must feel to turn down a home All-Star game at that age?
Yeah.
When are you doing that again?
Yeah. I guess maybe you feel that disrespect. Can you imagine the optics not looking good off of that? and it didn't, but that's Wheeler, whatever. So these two managers were asked about this, and the theory was fomented. Maybe they should move the game, slide the game further back or further up. So you get all these guys in there. And it reminds me of the old thing about the thing from Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, that sort of thing. So Roberts was asked, should the All-Star game move back a day to help more pitchers throw? Should they push it back a little bit? His thought on that.
I think whatever allows for the best players to be available to participate is what we should do. So that's what I would hope. So however, it's a bigger discussion, but yeah, you want the best players to be able to perform in the All-Star game.
It's a very good, if oblique, answer. Okay. So then Schneider was asked the same thing. Should the All-Star game, again, same reporter asking the questions, they move it back to get more pitchers in the ball game and help them throw. And he said, easier said than done.
I think, I don't know. This is my first time doing it, right? So you're kind of adjusting on the fly, but I think both sides, you're trying to just line it up and make sure you have enough coverage, whether it's pitching or position players. We used everyone got in, which was the biggest worry today, and getting through it healthy. But I think, I don't know the answer to that. If there's a way to maybe have more guys available and knowing they're not going to pitch. I know that off days and the break is precious for everyone that plays every day. So I don't know, but I think you're kind of trying to thread the needle with the availability that you do have. And I've said it a million times the last couple of days. It's really tough on the pitching coaches and DeMarlo and Jamie over there and Doc and Donnie and Ollie. It's hard to get everyone in and make sure it works. But yeah, I don't really know the answer to that, but I think it's really important that the fans see the best players in the game.
Yeah. And they're going to say that right thing. They also understand, like you said, it's tough on the pitching coaches to try to decide all that. You're just not going to get everybody in the game unless the game goes 14, 15 innings. And then you run the risk of the Bud Selig thing of calling it a tie and then really angering people, off of that.
Did they do that back when the All-Star game determined home field advantage in the World Series?
Yeah, which I thought was dumb, too, because it's an exhibition.
Right.
Off of that. Finally, the managers were asked what their takeaway was. Dave Roberts asked, what was the best moment of the weekend for him?
I think the best moment is there was about 8 to 10 of us, Ollie Marmol and myself with some players, just were in front of Chris Sale's locker, just chopping it up, talking baseball. And I think that was something that, in this day and age where there's a lot of devices, where just everyone was present. That was a lot of fun.
And John Schneider, the winning manager from Toronto, asked what he will remember about this weekend.
A lot. I think for me personally, you think of, time spent with your family, my wife and my kids, my parents and my brothers is pretty cool for them to be here. I didn't get to see Philly too much. You're kind of going, but it was overall, it's, you never know when you're in this position. So you're trying to just take everything in, and, special for me that it was, close to home and a place that I'm pretty familiar with too. So I just tried to enjoy it, and it was definitely a fun last 48 hours.
Okay, so there it was. And now they go back to work, which leads us to letting you know that coming up, we're going to visit with Jared Sandler from the Rangers Radio and TV Network to talk about the Rangers, the first place Texas Rangers in the American League West. And they have to start the post-All-Star game portion of the season in Atlanta against the National League East leading Braves. We'll get his thoughts on the Rangers' first half and the second half to come when we continue on 13 Under the Zone in the iHeartRadio app.
It's Bucky and PK.
And they let you buy a gator from like a PetSmart?
No, not PetSmart, Woolworths. Olds like myself understood that they had all kinds of fish and they had a pet department. Yeah, it was like the Walmart at that time, but you could buy pets in there. And I put it in the tub and stuff, and I had it for, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and then it either died or I let it loose in the sewer.
Is that the one that got chubs?
Yeah.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on AM 1300 The Zone. From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Austin area weather, we are still under that flood watch until 7 tomorrow night. Cloudy skies tonight with a low of 74. Tomorrow, a chance of scattered thunderstorms, a high of 87, a low tomorrow night of 75.
This report is sponsored by AirTasker.
Moving day's going great until the couch won't fit through the door. That's when I turn to AirTasker. Post your task and find local help for packing, cleaning, furniture assembly, errands, and more. Go to airtasker.com or download the app.
AirTasker. Get anything done.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
A champion will be crowned.
That is a wondrous goal!
And every remaining goal
Magical!
And save
What a save! Unbelievable stop!
Can be heard for free on the iHeartRadio app thanks to Fox Sports.
What a moment in the tournament!
All the drama.
Spain will play in the FIFA World Cup final.
One champion.
The referee blows the full-time whistle.
Don't miss a moment. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
iHeartRadio.
This World Soccer Report sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
Argentina's quest to become the first repeat World Cup champion in over 60 years continues as they rally to beat England 2-1.
Lautaro Martinez! Stop! It's time! Go-ahead goal for Argentina!
Argentina was down 1-0 in the 85th minute before scoring 2 quick goals to take the lead. They'll face Spain in the final on Sunday.
Download the iHeartRadio app for live Fox coverage of every game.
Twin Peaks is unmatched for every match. With 29-degree draft Michelob Ultras, handcrafted Casamigo margaritas, and a scratch-made menu, and screens that will put you on the front row of every game. It's all going down at the Lodge. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, this is Jamie Loftus, and this is my new weekly show, 16th Minute of Fame, the podcast where every episode I take a closer look at an internet character of the day. Who were they? What made them so notorious? How did the internet, or sometimes the algorithm, choose them? And what does a person do when they're suddenly confronted with more attention than the human psyche can handle? Take The Dress, a story that went uber viral in early 2015 in spite of being, well, kind of a boring optical illusion. A mother of the bride in Scotland took a picture of a dress she was thinking about wearing to her daughter's wedding. But she saw the dress as blue with black lace, and her daughter saw it as white with gold lace. One BuzzFeed post later, every single person on the internet was talking about the dress. But to me, the dress is a story about the last couple of months when the internet was still sort of fun. It was shortly before the stories that spread across the internet stopped being driven by exploited millennials with useless arts degrees and started being decided by algorithms hell-bent on growing internet usership at all costs. And on a long enough timeline, the story of the dress is one entangled with abuse and media exploitation. Internet history is a tricky thing to be invested in. It feels like every time a bad with business billionaire buys up another platform, history starts being erased. With the team at Cool Zone Media, we're taking these characters' 16th minute of fame to see what their moment meant to them and what it says about us.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Harge and Henry, the morning kickoff, weekdays at 7. to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app.
Across the window hides the light, but nothing hides the color of the lights that shine. Electricity so fine, look and dry your eyes.
Here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday here on 1300 The Zone. Craig Way with you alongside the producer, Jake Herman. We just heard quite a bit of recap and revamp on the baseball all-star game. Jacob Latz had a nice appearance in there when he got a big strikeout in there from the Texas Rangers. Speaking of which, a friend of ours, always really good to be able to check in with a friend, Jared Sandler, from the Texas Rangers television and radio networks, who joins us. Now, I appreciate you doing this. And before we even get into talking about some of the nuts and bolts of what's to come for the second half of the season and all that, I've been meaning to ask you this for a time. Since the reconfiguration, if you will, of the regional networks and everything that's going on, you and the crew have done a marvelous job in just kind of, I'm not going to say reinventing, but what you've had to do in terms of the pregame and the postgame show. So I appreciate the time, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on how all that kind of molded together to have the cohesive pregame and postgame and in-game things that you guys do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think a big part of it is that, and I know this is going to sound super cliche, like I'm an athlete after a game on the podium, but we really have a great team, and we all get along, all the people on air get along. And so, it allows us to do things together, be willing to do things together. And we also have a bunch of people who I think are willing to fail, right? Willing to try things. And we've done some stuff on air where it's like, I don't know that anyone's really done this. This could make us look like a bunch of idiots. It could, it could work, but we got a bunch of people without egos who are willing to try things, go off the cuff, have some fun. And we've had a lot of fun doing it. And that's people on air and people on the production side as well. So, our goal when we first started was to present the game on the pre and post side, in a way that was more creative and more fun than your standard, hey, 3 keys to the game, or score more runs and give up fewer runs and not make any errors, or, whatever generic stuff that, a second grader knows. We wanted to teach the game. We wanted to have some fun with it, and hopefully been able to accomplish that. But, we definitely appreciate people giving us a chance to do things differently, because, we know that change is not always met receptively. And I think we're learning that again today with some of the changes that we announced. But, we appreciate that Rangers fans have been willing to give this new way of doing things a chance.
Before you mention that, I do the personal aside. You get to work with one of my favorite people and producers on the planet, and Patrick Madrovsky. So Pimo is like the guru of producing what we do with high school football, obviously what we've done over the past several years. And so it's, for folks who don't know, having a really good producer, having a really good director, having a good technical director, audio people, I mean, it's invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it really is. If for people who aren't, they've never done TV before, you hear the people on air, see them. There's so many more people who play a role in all of this stuff. I'm not smart enough, creative enough, savvy enough to create the graphics or to, execute some of the elements that you see executed so seamlessly. You got so much going on in a broadcast. I think one of the things that's been really cool is, our Ranger Sports Network social feed has shown live views, or I guess not live, but views of the truck while plays unfold in hindsight. And you hear all the stuff going on. You see all the different screens, and, they roll red and this and that and all this lingo that I don't even know what it means. And that's just one part of it. Right. But yeah, Patrick's awesome. He's really helped lead the charge on all fronts. He's someone who, you don't hear his name a lot. Maybe you hear it when Dave reads the ending script, and you see the credits to our final show or to the show at the end. But Patrick Modrowski's been an MVP of this whole process, and it's been a lot of fun to get the chance to work with him.
Yeah, I can believe that. Tell everybody about the change, just so they'll know what's going on with regard those who have been accustomed to seeing you and seeing Dave Raymond and the rest of the crew work these telecasts now, because it's a little bit different when it's going to come to the streaming now, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'll try, be as concise as possible with this while hitting on some of the important points. First of all, if you did not watch Rangers games through Victory Plus, if you watched it through some other means, you're not impacted at all. So this only impacts people who watch games on Victory Plus as their direct-to-consumer streaming option in market, which I say only. I mean, that is a lot of people, but this does not impact everyone. So I've already had some people for whom this does not impact wondering, well, how does this – I watch it on Spectrum. I watch it on DirecTV. What do I do now? Well, that's not going to change. Unfortunately, today's not usually when you make some announcement like this, you think, oh, this is great, big changes and whatever. There's nothing about today that's a celebration or a win for anyone. Unfortunately, the Rangers felt like the relationship with our previous streaming provider, Victory Plus, had gotten to a point where the Rangers needed to preemptively and proactively make a change. I'm not, it's not my place to necessarily share any of the specifics from my legal purposes, but they're third-party outlets like Awful Announcing and Sports Business Journal. I think even local outlets like the Dallas Morning News have kind of reported what exactly is going on. I'll also share that I think an hour ago the Anaheim Ducks severed ties with Victory Plus. So this was not a change the Rangers wanted to make. There's no benefit for the Rangers, a first-place team, to make a big change like this, and it is a big change in the middle of the season without months of runway to help get everyone on board and orient them. But a change was necessary to make sure that the Rangers had a direct-to-consumer streaming option in market. And I think the priority, and I can also say that this is not some money-making move. The Rangers are not – they're losing money in this whole equation, not making money, unfortunately, because of what's gone on with the previous carrier. And the priority was to find a service that was going to be able to honor the subscriptions for existing Victory Plus subscribers. And so in Buzzer, BZZR, which is the new streaming platform as of, I guess technically now, but will really be introduced on Friday when the second half begins. If you have a Victory or had a Victory Plus subscription, that will be honored at no additional cost. And that was, I know, a priority so that fans didn't have to double play. There were maybe more prominent services that would be a little more widely accessible as we speak right now, but they were going to make fans double pay, and the Rangers didn't feel like that was appropriate. Buzzer's, excuse me, Craig, a newer platform, and it will become more and more available. There are a lot of people working hard to try and make that happen as soon as possible. But I get that there are a lot of fans who are kind of thrown off, in a tizzy. They're frustrated. They're confused. I get that. I wish that there was a button I could press to alleviate all concerns. I will say, the Rangers have created an email in partnership with Buzzer. It's txrangers@bzzr.com. That's probably the best way to get immediate help without sitting on hold for a long time. As you can imagine, there are a lot of people calling the phones to try and get answers, but that email address is the best way to try and get some of those questions answered. But again, I'll just say, you can read the tea leaves. There's some breadcrumbs that point towards stuff as to why the change was made. It is not something that anyone wanted to have to do in the middle of a season. And I know the Rangers understand this. I was just talking to Dave Raymond. We understand this, that there are a lot of fans who now are, even at minimum, you're tech savvy, you're aligned well with this. At minimum, you still have to go through the trouble of downloading a new app. But there are a lot of people, maybe that app is not compatible yet with whatever service they have. maybe you're not tech savvy, so just downloading a new app is not as easy for you as it is for some people. We get all that. It would not be anyone's objective to take a first place team and make it more difficult for people to consume their games. But unfortunately, the Rangers were in a position where they felt like they needed to make this decision so that a direct to consumer option was just even an option because there were fears that would perhaps not be the case.
Well, and again, to review what you're saying, for those who are watching, and whether like Direct TV like I have, or Spectrum, or the Friday night games here in Mark, in the
CW,
Mark on KBVO on the CW, all of that is still intact. All of that remains in play. Again, and I would also say this is kind of emblematic of what's going on with other regional sports networks across the country, right? The Padres had to go through, Diamondbacks, Rockies. I mean, there were several teams that have had to go through these types of things.
Yeah. It's a new landscape, and thankfully things have gone great. With RSN as a whole, the Rangers efforted not to provide just one path for people to consume games, but an in-market streaming option, as well as the over-the-air options like you mentioned on Fridays on CW, and then your standard distributors like DirecTV or Spectrum. There obviously have been some bumps along the way, but we feel really good about what we've been able to check off and achieve up to this point. And unfortunately, something kind of out of our control. Again, I would encourage people, if you want more answers, Sports Business Journal, Awful Announcing, Dallas Morning News, and I'm sure even now other outlets. And you can look to Southern California with the Anaheim Ducks severing ties with Victory Plus. That there's just stuff that's kind of out of our control. And I think the Rangers and all the people who are tasked with these decisions, that's, way above my pay grade, have been working really hard the last however much amount of time to try and figure out the best way to move forward. And but I get it. I understand that change is it's not easy. It's not fun. And I understand and feel for the fans who are really frustrated right now. Hopefully, you find that the transition is easy, but understandably, that's not going to be the case for everyone. And, hopefully we can, work together to find a strong path forward.
Okay. And I did not mean to make most of our time together about this. So I'll do this.
Hey, Craig, I understand. I mean, I'll end with this. Like, I don't want to come off as like I'm just relaying, some PR spin. I get it. At heart, before I even took this job, I'm a Rangers fan. And if I didn't have the ability to watch the Rangers, I'd be really frustrated. And it might be tough to absorb this now, but I think this move was made to ensure that as many people in market and out of market have the ability to watch the Rangers through one means or the other. It just, there's a little bit of an adjustment with this transition, and hopefully we can get through it smoothly.
Great. Before we get done here, I want to ask you this. As the second half gets underway, what in your mind is the most important thing to happen in order for this ball club to maintain first place or make sure they're a postseason participant, get it, whether it's wild card or winning the division, whatever? What needs to happen more than anything else, Jared?
Yeah, it would be amazing if you could keep Wyatt Langford and Corey Seager healthy for as many games as possible. I think you've got to have one of those guys, though. And, thankfully right now Wyatt's healthy. Hopefully we can get Corey back in the next week or two. It's just awfully tough to go 162 with your two best players giving you less than half the game's worth of production. That's, not their fault. They're not trying to get hurt, but that's just the reality of what the Rangers have faced. I think the other thing, and I only put this second because it's a little bit easier to address the bullpen, but the bullpen's leaking, injuries and maybe exposure and whatnot. They're doing the best they can. I mean, this was not a bullpen that on paper should have been as good as it was for as long as it was, but the bullpen's in a position now where some reinforcements are needed. And so hopefully between now and the trade deadline, the front office is able to make some moves, and usually bullpen moves, unless you're trying to get an elite top end closer, which the Rangers don't need because they have in Jacob Latz with the way he's performed, but just some guys to help get you from the 6th to the 7th to the 8th to give the ball to Jacob Latz. I think some bullpen depth is going to be really important for this ball club.
All right. Hey, we will check in with you again when we get down, going down the stretch of the Pennant Drive. And I really appreciate all the explanation, and it's always good to visit with you. So I'm coming up for a ball game in a couple of weeks. So I'll try to hook up
How by the press box?
All right. I'll do it. Thank you, Jared. It's great to visit with you. Appreciate
See you, Craig. Thanks so much.
You bet. That's Jared Sandler from the Rangers TV and radio networks. We'll be back to wrap up today's edition of the program on 13 Under the Zone.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The Cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now live in Texas, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, and every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory. It's bold. It's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
America is the stage for the biggest World Cup ever, and Fox is your home for it all.
None bigger than this one.
48 countries, 16 cities, one golden dream. The biggest stars, the biggest games, the biggest moments. The 2026 FIFA World Cup, June 11th through July 19th on Fox.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information,